Hey YouTube, here it's Woodgear, bringing you all an update to my Sylvan Yugioh deck profile for December 2019. Been wanting to do an update to the Sylvan deck profile for a good while now. Just had to get around to actually gathering all the stuff up for the deck profile. It's a really awesome deck. The point of the Sylvan deck is to basically use the Sylvan effects to excavate the top card of your deck, depending on how many, or what specific Sylvan card it is. And then get different effects when the Sylvan itself is excavated from the top of the deck. You have destruction effects, special summon effects, you name it. A bunch of different ones that work very, very well with some of the generic plant support we also run in the deck. So, like I said, happy with the results, and just feels like, one of those old decks that always remains unique and fun. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So to start off, for the Sylvan monsters, I run 3 Sylvan Martial Leaf. When this card is normal summoned, you can choose either 1 or 2, then excavate that many cards from the top of your deck. Send any excavated plant-type monsters to the graveyard. Also place the other cards on the bottom of the deck in any order. If this card is excavated from the deck and sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can target 1 monster on the field and destroy that target. So it's the monster destruction effect, which is why I like to run 3 of this card in the deck. It's very, very useful for that effect and the destruction, and overall just one of the better ones to normal summon, since you can excavate 2 cards from the top of the deck very easily as well. I also run 3 Sylvan Peacekeeper. With this one, when it's normal or special summon, you can excavate the top card of your deck, and if it's a plant monster, send it to the graveyard, otherwise placed on the bottom of the deck. And when this card itself is excavated from the top of the deck and sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can target 1 level 4 or lower plant monster in your graveyard, special summon that target. You can only use this effect of Sylvan Peacekeeper once per turn. So what's great is it can be normal or special summon with this effect, and being able to get that special summon of a Sylvan monster in your graveyard, even off the excavation, you can summon off of the Peacekeeper and then use the effect to activate another card, just giving you more and more options to swarm the field with different plant monsters. Very, very useful at 3 as well, just for the fact that you can also use 1 for 1 to special summon out Peacekeeper and still get the excavate effect to help with your other plays. And I'm also a fan of Sylvan Kumo Shrumo. With this one, when this card is flip face up, you can choose a number from 1 to 5, then excavate that many cards from the top of your deck and send any excavated plants to the graveyard, place the rest on the bottom of the deck. And if this card is excavated from the deck and sent to the graveyard by a card effect, target 1 spell trap on the field, destroy that target. So you get 5, which I wouldn't see why you'd want to do any of the other ones unless you were close to decking out with this card. It can set up so many different Sylvan cards. There's a good chance you'll hit a good number of them with Kumo Shrumo. It's a good first turn setup, which is why I also like this card, having 2,000 defense being one of those cards that your opponent could potentially crash into and then use the effect. But also, if you were to use another Sylvan and then send this card to the graveyard, you'll have the spell or trap destruction effect that your opponent could also have set up on the field, depending on what type of spell or trap that is also. And then for some of the bigger boss monsters in the deck, I run 3 Sylvan Hermit Tree. With this one, once per turn you can excavate the top card of your deck, and if it is a plant type monster, send it to the graveyard, and if you do, draw 1 card, otherwise place it on the bottom of your deck. And if this card is excavated from the deck and sent to the graveyard by a card effect, look at 3 cards on the top of your deck, then place them on the top of the deck in any order. So just more setup for your excavation effects with the Sylvan monsters also with this card. It's a high level monster, but the easiest way to get this card out is to use Lone Fire Blossom, which we also run in the deck, just to special summon it out, and then you have the option for the excavation effect once per turn, also used for some of our bigger Exceed monsters that we run in the deck with some of our other Sylvan monsters. Definitely need 3 of it for that play. The excavation effect just helps for more and more setup, depending on what spells you may want to use as well. And for some added backup for the boss monsters, I run 3 Sylvan Sage Yugioh. With this one, when a Sylvan monster is sent to the graveyard except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand, and once per turn you can activate the top card of your deck if it's a plant type monster, send it to the graveyard, otherwise place it on the bottom of your deck. And if this card is excavated from the deck and sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can target 1 Sylvan spell trap in your graveyard, add that target to your hand. So one of our best ones to go for is Sylvan Charity, being the draw power of the deck, and Sage Yugioh just helps for the easy special summon, which you can use in this card, because most of the time with all your plays you'll have a Sylvan card sent to the graveyard, so relying on Sage Yugioh for that is a big help as well for sure. For some added pressure, I also run 2 Sylvan Cherub Sprout. When it's special summon, you can choose either 1 or 2, then activate that many cards from the top of your deck, send any activated plant type monsters to the graveyard, and place the others on the bottom of the deck. And if this card is excavated from the deck and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 level 1 plant type monster from your deck. You can only use the effect of Cherub Sprout once per turn, but you can go for your big target, which is Peacekeeper, being then after you special summon Peacekeeper, you can use the effect to excavate another card. I don't normally like to open up this card. I like to use Cherub Sprout for the excavation effect, or if I can special summon it with cards like 1-for-1 or just another special summon like Peacekeeper, it's an added help since we have one other target for the special summon, which is Sylvan Princess Sprout. With this one, you can only activate each effect of Sylvan Princess Sprout once per turn. You contribute this card, excavate the top card of your deck, send it to the graveyard, then you can place 1 Sprout monster in your graveyard on top of your deck, which sets up Cherub Sprout for the excavation when you use some of your other effects. And if this card is excavated from the deck and sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can declare a level from 1 to 8, special summon this card from the graveyard, and if you do, it becomes that level, which is the main play to go for your Exceed summons using Hermit Tree and Sage Akoya as well, which we'll get to when we talk over the extra deck as well. And I have the 1 Sylvan Flower Knight in the deck. Now, if you want to bump up the numbers of Flower Knight, you can reduce either the numbers of Komoshrumo or Marshall Leaf to add more copies of Flower Knight into the deck. When this card is normal summon, you can activate the top card of your deck, and if it's a plant monster, send it to the graveyard, otherwise place it on the bottom of the deck. And if this card is excavated from the deck and sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can choose 1 Sylvan card from your deck and place it on top of your deck. It says Sylvan card. You can even search out some of the spells if need be for that play. Flower Knight just has that search set up and some pretty good attack power when you go for the normal summon, aside from cards like Marshall Leaf or Komoshrumo, which have lower attack, and Komoshrumo focuses more on the defense. Just another option for the deck as well. For some of the generic plant support, we were already talking about Lone Fire Blossom, but this card just helps to get Hermit Tree out on the field much faster, or special summon any of the other plants we run in the deck, Cherub Sprout, Peacekeeper, you name it. Most of the time I like to go for Hermit Tree since he gives us the draw power and is just a powerhouse plant on his own as well. But 3 of this in the deck definitely is a big boost for your special summons. And for the 1-ofs in the deck, I run 1 Spore. All the plants will still be sent to the graveyard, so just having this in your graveyard, removing another plant, and then special summoning is a very strong play at that. Same with Glow Bulb and the top mill, setting up more plants like World Carrot Weight Champion in our graveyard to use. Just all plants that benefit from being in the graveyard for special summoning them out. So just added cards that can be easily sent off to the graveyard to be reused for the plays. And that is it for the monsters. A very high monster count helps with just all the different excavations. Always have a guarantee, depending on when you excavate a card, to get the effect that that Sylvan card has. For the spells, I run 3 Sylvan Charity. You draw 3 cards, then if you have a Sylvan card in your hand, reveal 2 cards from your hand, including at least 1 Sylvan card, then place them on the top of the deck in any order. Otherwise, reveal your entire hand, place them on the top of the deck in any order. You can only activate 1 Sylvan Charity per turn. Most of the time, I always will have the Sylvan card, or will draw it off of Sylvan Charity to place, but this just helps to sift through a lot of cards in the deck and grab cards I need for my specific plays. And also you can set it up with cards like Flower Knight on the top of the deck and just have the option to go for those plays for this card. Definitely need 3 in the deck just for being a great draw power card for sure. I also run 3 Miracle Fertilizer. This is a great way to reuse Lone Fire Blossom when it's in the graveyard. Once per turn, targeting a plant monster in your graveyard, special summon that target. You cannot normal summon or set during the turn you special summon with this effect, even if this card leaves the field. And if a monster is special summoned by the effect leaves the field, destroy this card. But just special summoning options, most of the time you'll have the plays to go for with the special summon, and you won't even need your normal summon. Having this for that definitely does help for your plays. And I also have 3 Super Solar Nutrient, an easy way to special summon monsters from the deck, while Miracle Fertilizer works with the graveyard. I like it for the tribute effect. Comes in handy with all the level 1s we run in the deck, or even, Komoshrumo being a level 2. If you don't want to run Super Solar Nutrient, the one card I don't have in the deck, which you can take out for it, is Mount Sylvania. I would take out 2 Solar Nutrients for 2 copies of Mount Sylvania, and then 1 copy of Terraforming to finish off this. But this is if you want to play the Mount Sylvania, which I definitely do recommend. I just didn't have any copies of it, and this would be the card I would take out for that spot to run Mount Sylvania in the deck. And also, moving on to the one-ofs, I run one for one special summoning Peacekeeper Cherub Sprout with this. Just gives you the added bonus of their excavation effects. One for one. Most of the time with this one, I use it to set up your either Glow Up Bulb, Spore, or World Carrotweight Champion, depending on which one I need. And I also run one Reasoning. It's an Excavate effect now, after a while back having the text change when Excavation became a thing in the game. So just having all the different level Sylvans also is a big help. Also, one Monster Reborn for more special summoning from the graveyard, and one Upstart Goblin. Once you sift through a good amount of the stuff, putting spells on the bottom of the deck to reuse, Upstart Goblin can help to redraw into those cards, or even if you rearrange the top of your deck with cards like Hermit Tree, then being able to draw into them with Upstart Goblin is an added bonus also. And that is it for the main deck. We'll now move on to the extra deck. I run two. I'll see the Sylvan High Protector. Once per turn, you can declare one card. Name, activate the top card of your deck, and if it is the declared card, you can add to your hand. Otherwise, send it to the graveyard. And if this card is sent from the deck to the graveyard by a card, if a card is sent from the deck to the graveyard by a card effect, except during the damage step, you can detach one Exceed material from this card, then target one card on the field. Place that card near the top or bottom of the deck. You can only use each effect of Alsi, the High Protector, once per turn. Just a good Exceed monster to go for the plays of, getting rid of problem cards on the field, and then just having the option to declare the top card of your deck. Knowing what the setup is, very, very useful as well. Also, I run one Uria, the High Sylvan Arbiter, just the rank 7 plays to go for with Sage Akoya, having the Excavation effect, and then just the Bounce effect, another strong Exceed monster to go into when you use your monsters to go for the level. And then I run one Sylvan Princess Sprite, more the spell and trap card search with this one, and all the level 1s we run makes for an easy overlay with this one too. And with the tuners we run in the deck, I run one Formula Synchron, Glow Up Bulb, and Peacekeeper just helps with the synchro of this card into the better plays to go for. I also run the one Coral Dragon and the one Black Rose. I run Coral Dragon as a level 6 option to go with Formula Synchron as well, so then I can either use one of the tuners or those two to go into Crystal Wing for those synchro plays. And for the Link monsters, I run one Arrow Messeraphy Jasmine, needing 2 plant monsters to make it. Helps with the arrows and just the overall ability to special summon out plants from the deck onto the field to use. Also, one Link Karibo with all the level 1s we run, just an easy Link monster to summon out. One Nightmare Cerberus, one Nightmare Phoenix, one Nightmare Unicorn. Once our Yugioh, you can really fill the field with a bunch of monsters. Being able to recycle them into the deck with Saryuja definitely does come in handy. And one Borolo Dragon for more of a boss monster power play in the deck as well. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Definitely is a fun deck if you're looking for a plant deck to give a try. I would definitely recommend Sylvan's. It's pretty affordable for the main deck as a whole as well. But until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And Kira Twig out.